Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Okay, I want you to imagine you're in a coffee shop, as I said, or wherever, and I stand up and I say the following. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Simon. I live in Cape Town. I'm a 55-year-old human being, father, husband, and businessman, and concerned and committed member of the human race. Allow me to share a short story with you with the humble intention of attempting to encourage and inspire you with an idea that I hope will be useful to you. I will speak for no more than 4 minutes, if you will allow me. I have not just been released from an institution, nor am I drunk on a dare or on a mission from God. Why might you listen to me? Because I believe that our lives change in moments, not over time, and that, who knows, perhaps this could be a moment where things change for you, for me, for the world. 2 decades ago, on a windy autumn night, I stepped onto a bus in a rough part of London and made a speech. I did it because the bus was full to bursting and in total silence, in contrast to the energy and noise on the street outside. It was a crazy idea, but once I made up my mind, I summoned all my courage and overcame my biggest fear. What was that fear? The very fear that I experience right now, being judged. And since that speech, I've done over 1,000 of these talks similar to this one. Why do I do this? Why do I take a risk here in front of you? Well, after doing that speech and many more, I reflected and asked myself, where did this fear of being judged begin? And a memory hit me like a freight train. It's 1974. I'm 7 years old. I'm in Miss Curry's maths class in Durban. And she asks the class, what is 5 plus 5? I'm thrilled. For once, I know the answer. My hand shoots upwards and she picks me. 11, I answer. A quiet sniggering begins, which builds into mocking laughter. I panic. 9, 8, 12. The class erupts into side-splitting hysterics. And in that moment, I make a snap decision. I will never be laughed at or look stupid again. And from that moment on, fear had taken a hold of my life. And until making that speech on the bus had me in its grip. I saw so much evidence of this playing out in my life. For example, I want to talk to a stranger, but I worry that they will think I have other motives. I want to tell my dad that I love him, but I fear we will both be embarrassed. I have a great idea, but I think people will laugh at it. Fear, fear, fear. I see that these are nothing but reenactments of what happened in Miss Curry's class on that fateful day. What was my realization? That my fears were illusions, liars, tricksters, and traitors. And that by taking action in the face of those fears, they dissolve, disappear, dilute. I realized that joy, love, happiness, and connection were at stake. And from that point on, my mission became to help as many people as I could to overcome their fears and turn them into opportunities. My fears have not gone away. Even though I've done hundreds of these types of talks, I'm fearful every single time. I still worry about being judged, but the difference is I control those feelings. Those feelings don't control me. So in closing, allow me to invite you to consider this question. Is there perhaps something you might be avoiding or putting off that if you did it could have a really positive impact on your life? It could be a job you want to quit from, a plane ticket you want to buy, a conversation you know you need to have with someone, or a book you need to start writing. Come and say hi, I'd love to meet you. You could always just take a card or find me on the web. My name is Si, as I'm preferred to be known, short for Simon, but my surname is Ekin, like Nike backwards. I'll be over there in the corner. Thanks for your attention. I really appreciate it.
Yay! and you haven't given this talk in public yet?
Mm-mm.
And what is your fear?
Same fear. Like, am I wasting my time? Well, never mind, same fear. What is my fear? Here, it's more like sealing the deal, like a point to the conversation. Like before I do, if you find me on my website, buy. Whereas here, it's like, I'm going to take you through this process and I'm going to be there in the corner and who, you know, like sealing the deal, but not being over salesy or over pressurizing.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
I read through it, I realize there's some corrections I feel like I need to make and stuff. But what's your reaction to that?
Okay. So I'll give you input. It's so easy to give somebody else's input on their work.
Of course.
Standing
Don't hold back. It's fine.
So I just want to give you something that pop up for me, and then I also just want to suggest you take it from who it comes.
Yep.
And you whatever resonates you use, and what doesn't you let go.
Indeed.
Okay, always.
Go for it.
Right.
Give me the headline. Like, I want to know, what was your reaction, if you would? What is your reaction to that talk? Like, all right, or oh, wow, or
I think you can do it better.
yes.
So I want to make a suggestion. Is that what is the essence of what you are communicating here? And I want to ask two questions, and I have sort of have a suggestion as well.
Okay.
What is the essence of what you are giving these people in that moment? Even if they didn't buy your course, this morning they received something from you.
Yep.
And what value does that have for them? How is it going to change their lives?
Yeah.
So if their lives had to be changed, even if they didn't sign up for your course, you would have done a good job.
Yes.
So you're doing your work regardless, and then sowing the beautiful seed. And what are they walking away with if they did not sign up for the course?
Yep. Okay. So vulnerability is the key word. Like, I'm scared too. I'm doing this. I'm shitting myself. And I'm doing it. And I hope that you can see the things that you're avoiding because you're fearful, just like me. Even though it doesn't matter, I've done this 1,000 times, it makes no difference. I'm still in my head. And so if you sign up with me or you don't sign up with me, you could go away and have one conversation today you've been putting off sometimes for 10, 15, 20 years. And that would be an incredible thing for you. I judge. So, but that's the thing I'm wanting to go. I want people to go like, that guy who spoke, oh my God, he was so brave and he was so vulnerable and he just put his fucking heart on the line. And Jesus, it's what we want in society. He's a white guy, and how the fuck did he do that? And you go and ask him. No, you go, like imagining that kind of thing. It's like I'm wanting to just take my heart and go, here it is. Because I know how quickly my mind will go, tweak this, tweak this, tweak this, tweak this, tweak this, tweak this, tweak this. It's like, there it is. And I want people to listen to it and go, fuck, I want some of that, as you write.
Okay, so now I'm going to make a suggestion from my
Please.
Sexuality coach side.
Please.
Okay. I'm going to speak about the masculine and the feminine energies that you've been talking about so much and how important it is to integrate. So, yeah, on a very fantasy kind of level, let's look at how we're making energetic love to the audience. Okay. And how we can bring in both energies, the masculine and the feminine energy. So I'm seeing here a lot of fucking fantastic masculine energy. It's that bravery, it's that let's do it, like my heart is pounding, this needs to be done, and I'm going to be brave and I'm going to do it. That's like such a strong masculine, plus wanting to take people to take the action. That's so important. And so many people need that masculine energy, men and women. Like, let's just do it. Let's do it. Okay. Now, I'd like to support that with some feminine energies. So the feminine energy, if you're doing energetic lovemaking with someone, the feminine energy is this thing that you're speaking about of your heart and putting it out there and being in contact with your heart and your emotions. But now, if you're going to be making love to this audience, you want them to take some action or something. Let's look at how your feminine energy can meet their feminine energy. Right? So I want to dig a little deeper into the feminine side of your talk. And the feminine side is this side that will also be able to touch into the heart of the other person. So just feel if this still feels good. So I want to go a little bit deeper with the feminine energy in the sense of, okay, the one part of the talk is be brave and do. But why did you do and what did you say? What was that burning message? What was that thing in your heart that wanted to come out and that the world is needing to come out? What is that soft feeling side that cares for the world, that hopes for better things? What is that side of yourself that was supported by this talk? What is that side of you that came out in the bus? What was the essence of that heart message? So I just want to sort of summarize it, like, if you can say something like, have the bravery to tell someone finally you love them. That message of the love needs to be, you can feel this burning in your heart. You feel this love burning in your heart. Maybe your message on the bus was, let's love one another and care for one another. I don't know. But that message needed to be supported by this incredibly beautiful masculine bravery of bringing it out. And once you can touch that part in the other people, where you go, I feel this love in my heart, and I'm sure that somewhere in you, in your heart, there is a dream. There is a hope that is lying fucking wasted because you haven't plucked up the courage to bring it to life, you know, and that's the integration of this masculine and feminine, where we go, what needs to be said in this world? And this is what I said to you a few months ago when I phoned you early one morning, and I said, Sai, your work is so important because you're teaching people how to speak from the heart. But it takes all this bravery, you know, and the more heart there is in this world, I'm serious about it. We are really then healing the world from a very good place.
Yeah.
An integrated place. So, does that make sense?
Totally.
Yeah. So I think you can just bring, if I say with this talk, you can bring a feminine side in, as in dig a little deeper, like the bravery side is your masculine, and your feminine side is what was that emotion that wanted to be supported by the masculine and was then on that bus. It was an aha flipping big moment for you, because actually what you did in that moment is you really integrated your masculine and your feminine, and there was something burning in your heart.
Yeah.
And you did deliver it successfully and with emotion. And I feel that you felt, the people on the bus felt you. They felt you. I think that's the trick, to help people to feel you.
Absolutely. And that was the piece of doing it on the bus, the linchpin, the jewel in the crown. I don't know if you remember this, but when I'm getting up to the whole thing of being on the bus is I'm there and I see this guy who's eyeing me, And I start to get a little bit concerned. And then as I head off the bus, I see she's like a big burly guy, and he puts his hands either side of the rails, and I'll go, fuck, to myself. And then as I get close to him, I go, surrender, 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 let go, let go, let go. And he leans into me through his drunken breath and his garlic, this, that, and the other, nicotine, whatever breath, and says, mate, there's a lot of people that are going to think you're fucking mad, but don't ever, ever stop what you're doing. Now go on in, fuck off. And it was that piece, actually, that inspired me, that has kept me going. Because if I just done a talk on the bus, I'm not sure it would have been, yeah.
And the talk on the bus was not just about the talk, it was about what you said.
Absolutely.
And what is the essence of, I just want to ask, what is the essence of the message that you brought? Because I think this guy might have told you, keep bringing that message, dude.
Well, I think it's courage, but maybe that's just because I've always got used to saying that. But what was it? Connection, I think, is, it's because that was the thing that inspired me to do it in the first place. I'm like, God, we're all so fucking disconnected, and on our phones and in our just nothing going down,
I think that's your key. That was the essence of what you were actually saying. And that's where the gold of what you were saying was lying. And I think people are sitting with this gold inside their hearts, and they haven't got the guts to say it. So it's both sides that you want to look at,
So are you hearing both? Am I right in saying you're hearing both connection and courage? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And in that moment, you were sensitive. So it's not such a written speech that came. You were sensitive to the environment and to what you were observing. You were sort of in your feminine and really observing what's happening in this moment, and then responding to that with this heart thing of, gee, people, we can connect. And that helped the people to really listen, because you were responsive to the moment. Everybody could identify with where they were at right there. And it struck a chord.
The thing that, as you know or feel or understand, I imagine, we are living in, from what I can tell, is an increasingly divided, polarized world where the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, the whites don't trust the blacks, and the blacks don't, it's like, and for me, it's not who we are, where we are born of love and heart and connection and openness, and fear is the air that we breathe, I feel like, what's coming to my mind is, I wrote here, a video a day, come, ! I was thinking, like, because at this point, it's not too late. It's, whatever, it's just under 2 weeks, and fuck, I want to pull the plug and say, do it next time. I just want to, I really, I feel like. So you said to me a challenge, right? You can see me far clearer than I can see myself.
Yeah.
Having heard the talk, said what you said, you and I have a connection in terms of, how we see the world, masculine, feminine. And maybe this is something for you to think about, but like, what I want to say to you now is, give me a challenge, as my partner in this journey, give me a challenge. Tell me, like, okay, I want you to do this, right? And, because sometimes I need that, because I'm just got my face so close to the glass, I just can't see the wood for the trees, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I again, this fear of being judged is so immense. You know, I go, okay, who am I going to go speak to? Oh God, that was a real fucking waste of time. Or is that the right audience? And, you know, yeah, sometimes I just think I'm a lone nut, you know.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's actually so much easier if one's part of a big group of people that support you and do different aspects of it. Yeah, it is difficult to do it on your own. I feel you.
And you know, maybe, you know, then there's another call that says, you know, get people, because I speak, you know, when we do cold stuff, we're performing into no agreement whatsoever.
Yeah.
When we say, I'm going to be doing a talk at this place on this particular day, then people come there, you're speaking into agreement, correct?
Mm. Mm.
So what about, I pick a spot, you know, like I pick a spot and I just speak, and I, you know, like, I don't know, every day, whatever that is, I don't know, I can't quite picture whether it's within four walls or whatever. And I feel like if I did it on the street, they'd be like, okay, that guy's fucking definitely cooked, you know, like, and that's, you know, that's not a good feeling for me, because I'm just another Jesus freak, you know, like Jesus. And but yet I feel like I was thinking about that hall that you at Coke Bay, like, I'm going to be in this hall, you know, for example, I'm going to be come along at lunch hour, just pull in. And I'll, you know, something like of that nature, where people are walking in because they want to hear the message. There's less barriers in their mind for hearing the message. And do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, you're just sort of looking at the way forward and so I'm still thinking to keep it at this challenge. I wanted to speak more publicly, and I think I'm saying that to myself as well.
Sure.
To go out and to speak to various groups of people. It can be small, like breakfast groups. They're always looking for speakers.
Look, that's a far more, look, honestly, that's a far more, you know, if you want to fill a course and make a difference, and you know, that's going to be a far more effective way, let's be honest, than fucking standing on the side of the train platform.
Yeah, but this thing of standing on the side of the train platform is part of the training. So don't throw that out completely. It's part of the training. At the moment, I've signed up for a 30-day of poetry process with a friend of mine. So now we have to write these poems, but it's sort of like I don't have to publish a poetry book, but I get to practice.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing, is I get to practice every day, and that's great. But then I might decide to publish a poetry book out of I might find like golden nuggets in there. So I would see this as the daily talks somewhere as a process, but I would really encourage you to marry that with a whole lot of public talks. So just speaking gets you to actually distill your ideas, to fine-tune them, to sharpen your tools, to play with different aspects. Even one day, make sure you do a talk that's a fuck up, and the other day do a talk that you think might work, you know, and then take notes and maybe journal about it, what worked, what didn't work. And in between you have public speak, like proper appointments, which this is something I need to do for myself as well, because I'm just speaking into the ether on YouTube all the time, and I'm not sure what my audience's face look like and how to meet them. So every time you meet a different kind of audience, you slightly adjust your message, you slightly adjust to meet them. And that's a wonderful skill to start learning, like, who am I actually speaking to and how do I speak to them? So I think put the two together.
So what about, so tomorrow I turn, how old? 56.
What?
Yes.
You're looking good, Sai. You're doing
You,
something
sister.
right. You are doing something in the right direction. Yeah.
I'd love to say it was the this or that. It's the reality is it's thank you. I really appreciate the compliment. A lot of people do say that.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, it comes down to genes, really. I mean, you know, but I'll take the credit and I'll take the compliment. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think, take the compliment, because there is a general sense of self-care, which I think then shows
Absolutely.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Thank you. So what about if I went with me and then I thought, what about doing this in partnership with you? Like, what about if we were to do, bear with me, 365 talks in a year, right? And what does that mean? It's not, you know, I'm talking about proper talks, like the ones that the format that you mentioned, because I could go out into the street and do it. And I've done that before, like, you know, okay, I've done it, survived back, you know. But actually, like, putting the word out to say, you know, I'm even thinking you and I could do this together. That'd be fucking amazing. But, you know, the reality is...
In tandem.
Say again?
In tandem.
Yeah, you know, and we can skin it creatively. You could start off with the extreme end of a talk every single day for 365 days. That's going to be logistically, that's going to be a massive challenge to go to a hall or an office or a networking breakfast and deliver a talk, right? That's going to be like certainly you're going to fail. You're going to fail in week 1, right? That's the extreme end of the wedge, right?
Okay.
The other is taking a more gentle, artful, flowing perspective. You have an intention to do 365 talks in a day. Some days you might do 3, some days you might do none. That's okay. But you got the intention, and then you put it out there and you say to the broader community of businesses and like, hey, this is the game we're playing. You basically, you know, it's necessarily this, but you get a free talk, which you do, you know, by, let's just go with the creative energy, by these 2 professionals who happen to be running a course together, you know, and you know, yeah, I don't like the word free, but it's a gift. And then they sign up with their email address and fill in the register at the end, kind of thing. And if we did that for a year, Jesus, it'd be scary what different zone we were in, right? Now, I'm not saying we should or shouldn't do that, but that's the kind of, and I love these challenges, you know, I mean, the 30-day this, the week-long that, the 365 days. Anyway, that was just...
Yes, that's a lot. That is a lot of work. That sounds great. And maybe within the 365, some of them would be talks in front of an invited, you know, like you're invited to speak in front of an audience, so then it counts as a talk.
Sure.
And sometimes they're together and sometimes they're not.
Absolutely.
The way that I would utilize the talks for my business is I would do my YouTube and social media speaking. Because I put a video out about 1 or 2 every week anyway. But to do it, and then maybe we can sometimes review each other's talks a little bit, just every now and again, have a look and say, hey, I think you can improve here, I think you can improve there. That'll actually be great if we can review.
A hybrid. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be amazing. If I'm just thinking about all kinds of crazy things as we're speaking, be amazing if people could sign up for the 365 talks as a process. I don't know if they'll sign up for 360 and then get guidance from you and me on their talks.
Yeah.
They deliver them to us. It can be online stuff, or they have to film it if they did it in public. They give it to us and we give them feedback every time so that they can just gently and over a course of a year hone their skills.
Because I think I judge that the biggest, if I could say the biggest, but on another day it might be something else saying the biggest, but in this moment, the biggest frustration I think that we have as human beings is not speaking our truth, not speaking our heart, for fear of, you know, being judged or something of that nature. You know, I want to tell my husband this, I want to say this, I want to say this message to the world, I want to say this to the politicians in a way that is also, by the way, authentic, compassionate, loving, not, you know, being a dick, you know, kind of thing. So
yeah, I'm just, so we always start playing with ideas when we talk. It's crazy.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy for me to sit here and fantasize about your business and or things that we can do together. It's like pure fantasy. But I'm seeing like as a package that one could sign people up for. You can even say a 30 talk challenge. They talk a day, and you give them maybe one day where they come in and they have one-on-one training, and then from there on they go and you coach them over those 30 days. And then there could be another package which is 365.
Yeah, the manual.
Or we coach them.
Sure. So
Sure.
if we come back to, great, and I've recorded this and I'll share the recording with you as well. You know, so let's keep in mind the course, because I think it's a really important discipline. You know, for me at this point in time, we can get, you know, let me just say it in reality, like get 10 participants, you know, just under 2 weeks out. That's like fucking,
Yeah.
you know,
That'll be amazing. That'll be amazing.
So I think let's keep our focus. Yes, we need to have that creative piece as well. Let's keep our focus on that. The second thing I want to say is around them, and those 30-day, you know, that's definitely in my mind, you know, the Mojo Dojo, the dojo, you don't go once and hope for the best. You keep going. It's a regular practice, you know. And one of the things that consistently people have said about my course, absolutely amazing, and then I did nothing.
Oh, afterwards. Oh, okay. So they feel they need a bit of a follow-up.
Absolutely.
So you do want to do an upsell kind of thing.
Exactly.
For afterwards.
Exactly. And that's what I'm working on, you know, how to, and I'll share it as I go, but, you know, so what does that look like? You know, a Zoom with your community members, you know, once every month or 2 weeks, you know, you'll get a WhatsApp, your today's challenge is this, you know, share your video of you doing, you know, all of that kind of stuff that keep the edge and the zing going, so that people don't fall back into same old.
Yeah. You say, oh, fuck, now I'm going on fantasizing again. But it is with this course, so just stop me if I'm going too far. You say you do have an online course at the moment.
I have an online course called the Mojo Dojo, which is I've set it up. There are 18 modules, and when people sign up for me as an individual, I'm coaching them one-to-one. They get, it's on Thinkific, the platform.
Yes.
Is that the one you use?
Yes, I love it.
They get to sign. So I sign someone up. If you were a one-on-one client of mine, we do 9 months. We do a session every 2 weeks. And then before each session we have, you'll go on to module number 1 of the Mojo Dojo, called how to set a vision or how to create the future for yourself. And then we'll talk about it when we have our first session and so on.
Okay, so it's something that you guide people through.
Correct.
And they have PDF files to read. Okay.
All that stuff.
No, I'm just thinking, is there any value in filming, making use of the opportunity when we do have the people in the room and when you are standing up speaking, to film it?
Absolutely.
I
don't know if this is I don't know if it's your experience. My experience is people are far more willing and happy to be recorded and for their stuff to be shared than I give them credit for.
Yeah, but it can be done with discretion, the filming, with the idea that this goes into a self-study online course or an online course with extra challenges or whatever. It's like a double whammy. But I also want to say that I don't think you and I should be recording it, that we should get somebody else to record it. I do have someone in mind if you wanted to think about it. It's a young woman that's now working with me. She's become an affiliate and she's got wonderful ideas and she's super organized.
Wow.
And I told her about the speaking course and she was super interested to do it, but she can't afford it. And she was like, can you get me in any way? I'd love to. And I said, well, I think we should form it for our online course. And she's also helping me on Thinkific. I've taught her how it works.
Oh.
And she can upload stuff onto Thinkific, and she knows how it works. So, and she's done all my online courses, so she's got an idea of how online courses work. I don't know, just think about it. Just put it there as something to think about.
She sounds like a person who, there's a saying when you consider working with people or hiring people: hire for attitude, train for skill. So she sounds like she's got a great attitude. For example, with Thinkific, she wasn't a Thinkific expert, because she's got a great attitude of learning and wanting to understand. Sounds like she's making good progress.
Yeah.
By the way, just a quick one on that. At this point in time, if you said, okay, you've got 4 participants, 3 are full paid, 1 is half. If you said to me, okay, that's what 8, 16, 24, costs, you take 8, 16, 24, let's say 30. What am I saying? I'm saying this kind of a little bit hesitantly, because I guess I'm concerned about you going, oh, no, that's a crap idea. So I'll get over that. But just, I would rather have the course full and not everyone paid in full. So for example, with this woman or anyone else, I might say, look, here's the course. What can you pay? And she might go, oh God, I can only afford 500 Rand. It's like, oh, okay, well, but we can make a plan or something like that. I just want to give you that permission as well, to have those conversations with people, because I think what's really important is that you and I get to test it and work it and tweak it and so on and so forth. Just putting it out.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I do that on my courses as well. I'd like to have it full because it just feels better.
Of course, it does. It's energetically, yeah.
And I find ways to get it full, and sometimes just someone with a really good attitude, get them also.
But from a power integrity perspective, if you lined up with 10 people who are all paying in full, it's like, fucking hell, man. You step up, don't you, to another level. I do anyway.
Yes, you do. You do.
Okay, so the other thing I wanted to say was about the manual, just a headline on that. I realized yesterday that I'm not stepping up. Like I just need to grab this thing by the scruff of the neck and put in the hours. It's effectively like writing a small book. The only way to do it is just do it. So I've scheduled 10 hours into my diary next week, a minimum of 10 hours, to actually have it like nailed. Because Jeremy and you don't know what to really, you can put your ideas in, but it's on me, So just want to share that with you. So I'll continue to make those updates and share them with you. And I liked, and thank you for your contribution. I'm struggling a little bit with the making love to the audience. I know exactly what you mean. But I think about a couple of corporate people on the course and I'm going, but that's not the point. The point is you and I know it's the making love to the audience, and maybe there's just a way of communicating that so that people get it.
Yeah, I know. I'm coming from my tantra world, so where everybody speaks like that. So you're welcome to change the wording, how you see fit.
Yes. No, thank you. No, I get it, but I completely get the sentiment where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So,
and I think I responded to you also inviting me to bring that part of myself, so I'm bringing it, and then you can tone it down when needed.
Absolutely, and I reiterate that: be yourself, and that far right. What's the phrase? It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. So no question.
I enjoyed that so much about you.
So what are we gonna do now? What it's more question into the ether than necessarily getting the answer from you, but because I mean, what's there is, end result, we're here. What do you need to do in linear terms, from a male energy perspective? You're here, bum, 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 da, 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 achieve the result. And then there's the feminine, which is the magic and mystery that happens where you suddenly get a call out of the blue and blah, blah, blah. But I think, it's kind of the structure and freedom flow.
Phoning a few people.
Yeah. And I also want to, so look, I know what there is to do. I think it would be really useful possibly to have a little reporting structure with you to say, just for myself, just to say, this is the amount of people I've called, or this is, give it like a little stats, each day from an accountability perspective. Because it's also really nice, what part of the thing of doing something with someone is to high five each other every now and then and be like, wow, it's that excitement. I mean, I know I'm kind of owning it, but otherwise I'm doing everything on my own,
Sorry, I was for a moment not listening because I was thinking of something that we can do, or you can.
Thank you. Thank
Sorry,
you.
I missed that last sentence. What was it again?
I said, otherwise I'm doing it on my own. And it's lonely, in terms of the work that needs to be done to get people onto the course, etc., and doing the work. So I don't expect, until things change, this is not, as I said, in brutal terms, it's not a collaboration partnership. It's me saying, I've got the course. And as we said, I'd like you to come on and I'm going to pay you 30%, etc. So I acknowledge that, but I also know you're a great resource to be there, to challenge me, to say, hey, well done, or, something of that nature.
Yeah, and I don't know if my audience are the ones, if I'll be able to pull in participants from my kind of contact list,
I've got zip expectation from you, like really nothing.
But it's a question that a thing that just came up for me. I wrote it down on my book here. And I see that has been successful with me in getting people to sign up for my courses, is that I announced to various groups that I'll be giving a free Zoom talk, but on the topic, only an hour. And I get them to have to register. So everybody, if I don't know them, I get their email addresses. And that you basically already give a teaching, the essence, like the start of the teaching in the course, and people can come and get it for free. They want to go deeper. And then we can both be on the call. Like I can be there as a backup. Like both, it's you doing the call, but I am also there. And whenever you want anything from me to come in, you just say, Leon, what do you say about this? What do you say about this?
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, so I'm available for that. We can even do 2 of those.
Yeah, I think 2 would be good. So where we could do like one next week. We could do, because really, in all reality, so the course starts on the 16th. I think we need to kind of, in our minds at least, close it off. It's not to say someone might not come through the day before, but let's not expect that. I think, that week before we need to be, ideally next week.
Maybe 2 calls, maybe on Tuesday. Or what you can also do is you can do the call on Tuesday or Wednesday and then distribute the recording of it afterwards for those that couldn't join.
Yeah, and then also follow up. I'm not afraid of, hey, how was it for you? Did you see anything for yourself? If do you want to do it? If you had the money and you had the time, would you? Yes, I would. Okay, great. So let's talk about time and money. But like in a non-intrusive, but following up way. So why don't we aim to do that on, I think Tuesday and Thursday might be quite good.
Yeah, and evening is usually better, hey, because of schedules.
Do lunchtime, but there's always going to be I don't know, pick a lane really. I mean, we could do one at 1 o'clock on one day and one at like what, 6, something like that, or 8.
8 after supper, 8 to 9, and one at lunch. That's a good idea. And if you can set it up, the Zoom call that people need to register, you know how to do that. That they need to register for the meeting.
Yeah, Adele can help me with that. So let's do. Let me just look at the diary here. Yeah, man, this is a good thing to do. Hang on, where am I? Oh, I got distracted. Okay. So if we do Tuesday the 7th, right? So we could do Tuesday 1 o'clock, and then we could do Thursday 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I can get my team onto designing a flyer, making it, appealing. And the intention for you and I is, as I see it, well, tell me what do you see as the intentions
of the Zoom talk?
Yeah.
Is to give people value already. So it's a little crash course that you're giving.
Absolutely.
Not only selling your course, you are giving them like a crash course. Like I would give people a crash course in how to have full body orgasms, for instance, and then make it very clear to them, to make this really work, you actually need to spend more time, and there's like, we can take these processes deeper, but you've already got something to work with.
Yep. I love crash course. It's great wording. And then at the end, click on this thing if you're interested, get on the phone, etc. Okay. That's a project for me to get stuck into next week. That's great. Okay.
Yeah. And maybe also word it a crash course to help you speak either in public or on social media. Improve your speaking abilities either for public or social media or in your private capacity. But it's just, these are just ideas that are coming up.
Yeah. Okay. Good. We have a plan there. I'm going to work on the document. I'm going to keep you posted. I'm going to keep beavering away with the various leads and calls that I've got already in the pipeline. And I would like to, if I may, just use you as a little bit of an accountability piece and just message you at the end of each day, just kind of, keep you posted as well. Got one sign up, 2 people are interested, like keep it quite, businessy. Yeah. And then at this point, I'm not making any moves with the catering yet. I must maybe, so we're in town, hey. I must maybe just research so long what caterers are in the area. Claremont. So we're going to be, again, I'll confirm this to you. We're either going to be 2 full days in the forest in Newlands. So you want to be catering for in and around the kind of Newlands, Claremont area.
Okay. And
then possibly Erin Hall or another hall if it's available. I'll get back to you on that.
Okay. So the one, and then give me an idea of the budget. And we're looking at a coffee tea break in the morning, a lunch, and then a coffee tea break in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm picturing like a mobile, I don't know how it would work, but
a picnic.
Say again.
Picnic.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, a picnic, lunch picnic, but then also with some, refreshments, tea and tea time.
Yeah. Cool.
So there I'm looking at a picnic, and then it can be slightly different in Erin Hall that can bring stuff in. But if you can tell me a sort of budget per day, per